Good morning, everybody. We started the work week again, and now it is Tuesday. Everybody got past Monday. Congratulations. Give yourself a pat on the back, and keep going to Christmas. Chapter 19 of Genesis, Sodom and Gomorrah destroyed. The two angels arrived at Sodom in the evening, and Lot was sitting in the gateway of the city. When he saw them, he got up to meet them and bowed down with his face to the ground. "My lords," he said, "please turn aside to your servant's house. You can wash your feet and spend the night, and then go on your way early in the morning." "No," they answered, "we will spend the night in the square." But he insisted so strongly that they did go with him and entered his house. He prepared a meal for them, baking bread without yeast, and they ate. Before they had gone to bed, all the men from every part of the city of Sodom, both young and old, surrounded the house. They called to Lot, "Where are the men who came to you tonight? Bring them out to us so that we can have sex with them." Lot went outside to meet them and shut the door behind him and said, "No, my friends, don't do this wicked thing. Look, I have 2 daughters who have never slept with a man. Let me bring them out to you, and you can do what you like with them. But don't do anything to these men, for they have come under the protection of my roof." "Get out of our way," they replied. "This fellow came here as a foreigner, and now he wants to play the judge. We'll treat you worse than them." They kept bringing pressure on Lot and moved forward to break down the door. But the men inside reached out and pulled Lot back into the house and shut the door. Then they struck the men who were at the door of the house, young and old, with blindness so that they could not find the door. The 2 men said to Lot, "Do you have anyone else here, sons-in-law, sons or daughters, or anyone else in the city who belongs to you? Get them out of here, because we are going to destroy this place. The outcry to the Lord against its people is so great that he has sent us to destroy it." So Lot went out and spoke to his sons-in-law, who were pledged to marry his daughters. He said, "Hurry and get out of this place, because the Lord is about to destroy the city." But his sons-in-law thought he was joking. With the coming of dawn, the angels urged Lot, saying, "Hurry, take your wife and your 2 daughters who are here, or you will be swept away when the city is punished." When he hesitated, the men grasped his hand and the hands of his wife and of his 2 daughters, and led them safely out of the city, for the Lord was merciful to them. As soon as they had brought them out, one of them said, "Flee for your lives. Don't look back, and don't stop anywhere in the plain. Flee to the mountains, or you will be swept away." But Lot said to them, "No, my lords, please. Your servant has found favor in your eyes, and you have shown great kindness to me in sparing my life. But I can't flee to the mountains. This disaster will overtake me, and I'll die. Look, here is a town near enough to run to, and it is small. Let me flee to it. It is very small, isn't it? Then my life will be spared." He said to him, "Very well, I will grant this request too. I will not overthrow the town you speak of, but flee there quickly, because I cannot do anything until you reach it." That is why the town was called Zoar. By the time Lot reached Zoar, the sun had risen over the land. Then the Lord rained down burning sulfur on Sodom and Gomorrah from the Lord out of the heavens. Thus he overthrew those cities and the entire plain, destroying all those living in the cities, and also the vegetation in the land. But Lot's wife looked back, and she became a pillar of salt. Early the next morning Abraham got up and returned to the place where he had stood before the Lord. He looked down toward Sodom and Gomorrah, toward all the land of the plain, and he saw dense smoke rising from the land, like smoke from a furnace. So when God destroyed the cities of the plain, he remembered Abraham, and he brought Lot out of the catastrophe that overthrew the cities where Lot had lived. So we have Sodom and Gomorrah, the majority of them sinning so great that the outcry against God caused him to destroy the entire city. It's interesting because they have, at the very beginning it says 2 angels, but then throughout the rest of the chapter, or at least the first part of the chapter, they're referred to as men. So angels like either disguised as men, because as we continue into the Bible, we'll see that not all angels look like humans. So maybe these 2 are just disguised as men, but yet Lot knew that they were the angels of the Lord. And we have, the men in the city taunting the angels, wanting to have sex with them. And the part that I'm I want to work through in my head is that to keep that from happening, Lot offers his two daughters to all the men in the city and says, you can do whatever you want with them. Um, it's just an interesting thought. I mean, you let your daughters, you know, in theory, be, I mean, all the worst thoughts that can come to your head, and you let your daughters endure that, so that they don't do anything to the two angels that you have, in your house. So, it one part of me I understand, because you have faith, and you would do anything to show that you will protect, like, the two angels. But then the other side of me says, would God really want that? Would he want you to just pretty much hand over your two daughters? um I don't know, submitting them to whatever would have happened to them. um so that's just an interesting part of the story that I always kind of, latch on to when I read through this. um and then they hesitate to get out of the city, so the angels literally have to, like, pull them out of the city to get them to safety. uh and unfortunately, the sons-in-laws of Lot's daughters, thought he was joking, and just because they didn't believe what he was saying, they were, in the city when it got destroyed. And then Lot, for some reason, he says that he can't flee to the mountains, or that disaster will overtake him. Oh, that's an interesting part too. Why would fleeing to the mountains overtake Lot to the point that he would die? I mean, is it? And this is where, previous information I might be forgetting about this. It might be key to this, but from what I can remember, I don't remember anything significant that, would answer why he would die if he were to be in the mountains. But anyway, the Lord gives him permission to go to Zor, or Zoar. I believe it's Zor, which at the bottom, Zor means small. There you go. And then sulfur rained down on Sodom and Gomorrah. And Abraham woke up and went back to the same spot he was just talking with the three men, the three visitors, and looks down and sees all the smoke rising from it. And at the very end, it says, so when God destroyed the cities of the plain, he remembered Abraham, and he brought Lot out of the catastrophe. So was it because of what Abraham had done, asking him if 45 righteous people are still in the city, will you include them with all of the people who are sinning and rebelling against you? So I think that's saying, God remembered what Abraham had said, so he let Lot and his family originally survive. And this is also the infamous where Lot's wife turns around, because the men tell them, give me 1 second. Just a little, like, off. You would think if you were talking about this in present day, it would be kind of an off the cuff thing to say. Flee for your lives, don't look back, and don't stop anywhere in the plain. Don't look back. And what does she do? It's just verse 26, one sentence. But Lot's wife looked back, and she became a pillar of salt. Just by looking back. So both we have now looking back and not thinking that Lot was serious when he said that it was going to be destroyed. So the sons-in-law and Lot's wife, both dead by very quick things and very easy things to miss. But that just shows you, like, how much you were supposed to listen. Quick question: does that mean the sons-in-law and Lot's wife? This will be my question to end it. Did they go to heaven or hell? Did that show unbelief in God, or was that just a mistake that had resulted in them dying, but they still had faith and were accepted into heaven? I don't know. There are a lot of places in the Bible where I ask myself that. So anyway, love the feedback, love the support, guys. Thank you very much. And yeah, I'm looking forward to doing this. It's still been fun, and I hope you guys are enjoying it too. But this has been a long one. I'll cut it off at that, and we will see you again tomorrow.